Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom. On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Bennett and Mike are sitting down to talk about kids. To talk about kids for a couple of different reasons. One is, I'm pleased to say that I just welcomed my fourth child into the world. Hello. Got a fire team.
We like to make some babies.
Right. The tip of the spear is fertile. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Especially when it comes to making females.
Oh, dear God. Yeah. And I just had a daughter.
That's right. But you're shooting 50%. You were like what they say it is, right? You got 50-50. So you got 2 boys, 2 girls. I defied the odds and went straight for girls. 100% female. Now, they say it literally is supposedly a 50-50 shot. That is the statistical bullshit rumor. Statistical bullshit rumor. But if you've ever been stationed on Camp Lejeune, you are obviously 85% more likely to have a female underling.
We'll have the original sources for where these statistics are coming from.
I don't really know. I'm sorry, I'm not sure, but I'm just making that shit up.
Right.
But it's obvious because of all the Marines that we know, most of them that are Lejeune Bubbas have freaking the majority of girls.
Yeah.
That would be a great study to do.
Oh, yeah.
I think I can tell you the other side of this too. It's not like the water, because we've got issues with Lejeune water, or at least they did back until like 1989, and I'm not sure what the fuck they did to remedy the issue. But it's also called karma, folks, because us Marines and karma.
Yeah.
If you do not know, which every Marine does know.
Weren't you a bouncer at a strip club at one
Point? Yes, I was. Okay. But
no, I'm trying to figure out where this.
Yeah, my wife never lets me forget that either. By the way.
Oh, of course.
Never, ever. Yeah. So I was a bouncer at a lot of clubs, but yes, I had a strip club for quite a while. It was a really good job, paid in cash. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Right.
Good music, free drinks, all that
there
fun
and look
stuff.
Tough.
Right. Blah, 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 whatever. Easiest job until you had to actually fight somebody. So at the end of the day, though, karma is a vengeful bitch. And she comes back to get you. And there's no other way to describe it. You could call it Murphy, you could call it whatever.
But you in the night.
Right. Karma is a vengeful bitch. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how the hell that works.
Dude.
Just like you said, it's a coin toss. See, my thing is, so folks who don't know, I have 2 kids who live separate from me, who are older, right, from my first marriage. Mm-hmm. And it's tough because, we're separated. We're not in contact. It's very difficult,
Yeah, it sucks.
And it's an ongoing thing with my ex-wife. But it's right.
I'm gonna flat tire that one. I'm gonna flat tire the shit out of it.
So here's where I'm going with this. I was lucky enough to have a boy and then a girl. Yeah. And then I remarried and I had a boy and a girl.
Yeah, it's weird.
Hell yeah, man. That's hell yes. Couldn't ask for more. I feel blessed in that regard.
The way I looked at it is after 2, I was like, all right, just keep giving me girls. because I don't want to buy more shit.
Exactly.
It's just, you get to a point when you're like, all right, well, I have all the shit for a girl. She's good for clothes for the next, all of them are good for clothes for the next like 10 years. I've got to buy the oldest one clothes, but then they trickle down, it's like trickle down economics. Just kind of happens, where, so,
Did you ever deploy, after you had kids?
Well, yeah, I had my oldest daughter is 21 now. So she, let's see.
Because Bennett with his split time over there. See, I already knew the answer to the question, Bennett.
Yeah. So yes, I deployed to Bosnia.
Yeah.
And Egypt. Yeah. So a couple of times.
That's honestly.
I can tell you, being out, 9/11 was a weird, being deployed. See, that's a whole nother aspect. Like, we were deployed. Yes, we weren't in country and the country was getting attacked, but we were like, you just feel very vulnerable when you're deployed and something like that happens on the home front. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we literally were like blind. We had like no idea what was going on. So that was kind of freaky with, having the kid, who at that time, she was already, she was born in 95. So,
Yeah. She was already 6? Well, wait a minute.
No. So 95.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, 6. God, is it really that? Jesus. So freaking long ago, dude.
That's nuts.
Doesn't seem like it's long ago. That shit seems
feels like yesterday. It feels like yesterday. Yeah, it feels like last Wednesday kind of thing.
Right. Different.
And it's, it's definitely not far back in the memory.
So she was, like, are you okay? What's going on? Like, I remember her on the phone crying,
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's, people always ask. Sorry, what's that?
No, so I mean, I was just saying, it's like when you're like that and something traumatic happens like that, it just throws a lot of uncertainty into the shit, especially with kids, because they don't necessarily understand it. You don't know really how to explain it to them, and all they want is you to be okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Well, right, of course. And people always ask, what's the toughest part about, being in the military or anything else like that? I mean, honestly, the toughest part about being deployed is just saying goodbye to your kids.
Yeah.
And I'll say kids. Like, it's a hell of a lot different saying goodbye to your wife, your girlfriend, stuff like that, and then saying goodbye to your, your children. Who just have no concept of what the hell is going on.
Right.
They just know Pops is gone. And it's not like, fuck, man, it's not like we're, Skyping over there all the time and stuff like that, of course.
Right.
You're in some blown out building talking through the, what the hell were they? They were like CNET phones or some shit like that.
Right.
But it looked like a standard telephone that you just had to punch your code through. But it was the oddest thing in the world because it's like, you remember this shit. It's plywood. Somebody's been scribbling all over the partitions and shit like that, sitting in there talking to their old lady. I mean, it's some of the funniest shit you'll ever read.
Yes.
But you're just kind of like looking around at these surroundings. Everybody's just kind of sitting on an ammo can. Just
the bullshit.
And you're like, this is kind of fucking weird.
How fucked up is it when the connection goes down?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the phones are down, or the internet's down, or whatever the fuck is down.
I was on...
Next thing you know, you lose that shit for 12 hours, and then it comes back up, and everyone floods the fuck, It's fucking crazy.
I've been on the phone 3 times during incoming. Once with my father in Ramadi. That round hit like 100 yards away. On base. It just hit over near, well, I mean, fuck, it's over on a corner of Hurricane Point. And we were in the phone center. My old man's like, what the fuck was that? Like, do you need to go?
Yeah, I'm like, little fucking incoming, Dad. That's fine.
Well, and I told him, I was like, look, man, I have no idea where these things are going to hit. So would you rather I dodge them or stay on the phone as long as I can?
Right.
Right. And so the whole idea was wait until, last shot over. Don't run back to the hooch immediately.
Yeah.
Remain in place for a little while. And then you would go back over and immediately get accountability of like everybody, all your gear, all your serialized shit, all of that other stuff.
Right.
But it happened with my old man. We took incoming when I was on the phone once with my ex-wife. And then once when I was talking with my son in Afghanistan, we started taking incoming when we were in Kajaki.
Oh.
And he's like...
That's all you hear in the background. Oh.
Right. And he's like, Dad, are there bad guys outside? And I'm like, yeah, Dad is going to go take care of them.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Okay.
Just kind of like, what the, and he didn't really know what the hell was going on. And I'm like, look, buddy, here's the thing. I'm okay right now. We're talking and I'm fine. When these guys
in about 2 minutes, shit's going to get fucking real.
Right. And I told him, this is what I told my son. I swear to God. I said, son, when this is over, Daddy's going to go kill those bad men. And he was like, oh, like I just didn't sugarcoat that at all.
Yeah.
I told him flat out, that is what I do for a living.
Right.
And he's like, holy shit. And you can judge me for all you want.
Right. Yeah.
Look, I'm not going
to. Daddy smokes bad dudes for a fucking living.
Right. And we'll talk about Santa later on, okay?
Right.
But Daddy kills bad people. Right? Like those guys are trying to kill Americans. And so,
right.
It's part of the gig.
Absolutely.
But I tell you what, man, open and honest about that stuff.
Now, that's one of the things, like you and I have had this conversation. We've talked about, I don't sugarcoat shit with my kids.
Yeah.
And I try to curb my language.
Yes, of course.
But that doesn't, but yet it doesn't always take, especially when I get pissed. It's one of the ways that they know I'm pissed, or not necessarily pissed, that I'm serious about something. So it doesn't necessarily have to be foul language directed at them, but fuck is my favorite word. For sure. Unequivocally my favorite word. So I use it in various forms, just like most of us do. And sometimes it has to be around my kids, unfortunately. It's not something that I'm proud of, but we all do shit that we're not proud of. And what I understand, or what my kids always understand, is that what I've always taught them is that don't ever say anything behind somebody's back that you wouldn't say to their face. And I think that this is something that they've definitely learned from me, because they've heard me say stuff about people in our lives behind their back, and then I drill them with it the next time I see them. And literally people are like, oh. But it's one of those things that you have to, that I feel like you have to do. You don't have to be an asshole because of it.
Right.
But I want my kids to understand that you don't talk. In this day and age, people talk way too much shit. And they talk way too much shit on the internet or whatever. Everyone's a tough guy on Facebook or on whatever. You know what I mean? Right. So one of the things I try to instill in my girls is just don't say things unless you mean them. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Right?
Right. Yeah.
But that also goes to, it involves character. So if you want to talk shit about somebody, you better be able to talk shit about them to their face. Does that make sense?
Right.
So that's one of the biggest lessons that I try and teach my kids. Even though they're young, and I'm pretty sure they get it. My 21-year-old definitely gets it. So there's that. So that's one little nugget of knowledge that I give to people. The other nugget of knowledge, and I don't know if you and I have ever talked about it, but Eddie and I have talked about it. Eddie Lazary and I have talked about it, is my theory on how you teach children. And it's pretty much how you teach children, or it's really how you teach anybody to do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, people only learn in two ways: mindless repetition and blunt force trauma, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that includes children, it includes dogs, it includes you, it includes me, it includes everyone, all right? Now, people, when they hear me say blunt force trauma, they immediately, because they don't have half a fucking brain, they immediately go straight to, oh, you beat your children.
Right.
Or you beat people, instead of like using it, thinking of it in an abstract type of way. Blunt force trauma meaning, yeah, well, now, literally you're paying the consequences for your actions. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or just pain in general, whether it's, I can't even think of an example.
You're either going to study the right way to do something over and over and over again, or you're going to go the wrong way and you're going to get burnt.
Right, like you learn because you tie your shoes. You learn to tie your shoes by doing it over and over and over again, right?
You have somebody teach you the right way of how to do it, or you just continue to do multiple wrong ways until you figure that shit out.
Right, because the multiple wrong ways usually cause pain in some form or fashion.
Right, exactly.
Right, whether it's getting married and divorced however many times. Most of us have starter wives, right? And that's a little blunt force trauma because that shit hurts most of the time.
Oh, hell yes.
Fucking suck. So that is a form of blunt force trauma. Ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, whatever. Exes in general, for the most part, that's blunt force trauma because you made a motherfucking mistake.
Right. A long time ago.
Do you understand? Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. It's not necessarily getting popped in the face. It's the proverbial pop in the face.
Right. You do that shit, you're gonna get hit by a car.
but I think people if it's really that simple.
Yeah.
Mindless repetition, blunt force trauma. If you live your life that way, and this is what I teach my kids, my girls. If you live your life that way, it really makes it kind of easy. Or should I say, it makes life simple. Doesn't make it easy, but it makes it simple. And usually simple is better. But again, that's another one of those life lessons. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So those are some nuggets for me on rearing your children. I probably should, I don't know, maybe we should write a Cigars and Sea Stories book of
how to raise your kids.
How do you raise your kids?
Listen, we've got it all figured out, and here's what I have figured out. I have nothing figured out. It's that simple.
Except for how to swear really good and threaten boyfriends.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm really good at that shit.
Yep.
Really good at it.
Just when you think you're safe, that's when you're in range.
Yeah. Right.
It's the biggest thing for me that I tell new members of the Daddy Club is the first 3 months are a struggle, right?
Yes.
To say the least. Now,
Yeah.
I'm like week 1 in, things are going well. This is probably the best circumstances I've been in while having a kid, right?
Well,
First,
is she sleeping?
dude, don't jinx me on this one. She's,
You
yeah.
better just knock on some fucking
I
wood or
mean,
something.
bam, bam, bam. She's getting up once in the middle of the night, and we're like,
Yeah.
she's pounding it, before going to bed, and that,
Good.
which I'm one of those guys who only needs like 6 hours anyhow. You know how that.
Yeah, but
But
that's still awesome.
right. Oh, hell yeah, that's fantastic. My other one, Jesus, it was like every hour on the hour is just awful. But see, my first kid just got home from deployment. It was 2 weeks prior, something like that, and he was born. And or no,
You want to
excuse me,
fucking kill yourself.
It was 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks because we were done with leave. I was back at work, had the kid, took paternity leave, and I was fucking wrecked, dude.
Yeah, you wanted to fucking kill yourself.
I was wrecked.
I know.
Like, I was wrecked all summer, and you're still, at that point, I was a senior Marine, but it was just like fucking brutal. It's summer in 29 Palms. And then we went out to Mountain Warfare Training Center, so he's kind of gaga goo goo, getting to know him a little bit more. And then bam, you're gone for a month. You're like,
bam.
You know what I mean?
It's fucking quiet.
Well, yeah, Jesus. Dude, that's the thing is.
But that's why your wife fucking hates you.
Right.
Well, what I mean is, like, you get to a point, like, especially if you're in the military and you've got to go out, you either deploy or you got to go out to the field or whatever. And even though you're in the suck, kind of, those women are fucking pissed. They're like, how dare this motherfucker leave me alone with this fucking crazy screaming ass fucking child.
Right.
Because they're probably only like 18, 19 or 20, 21 tops. And that's how the shit works, especially in the fucking enlisted world. And then usually after that real good, like fucking rotation to fucking 29 Palms or Yuma or fucking something, that's when fucking marriage is fucking, they either make it or break it, bro.
Well, yeah. See, that's what's kind of odd, because when we were living in base housing, so we were living in base housing out in Costa del Sol, which, for folks who aren't in the know, that's base housing that's off base. It's out on 2 Mile Road in 29 Palms. Go scope it out if you want to drive out into the middle of fucking nowhere. But it's weird because it's a gated community that's monitored by PMO. And a lot of my buddies who were in 3-7 Weapons Company with me were over in the same neighborhood. So our wives built a strong network, and then we're supporting one another when we were going out on field ops. We were doing it right, for a spell there. And going out to the field was like, thank God. You know what I mean? Because at that point, I was like, all right, tell you what, I challenge everybody in the platoon to a reload contest, and those of you who can beat me don't need to be on Firewatch tonight. I'm sleeping the entire fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, I racked out, I'm like, this is the only time that I can honestly get a wink of sleep is going out to the field, and that was the best. And it was brutal. But see, what happened was so the area, and I don't know what it's like nowadays, but at that time, back in 2006, it had a lot of break-ins. And, oh, man. I don't know if I can share this story. So, the Tigers lost the pennant. We're driving home. Wife's in the back. Kids in the car. There are a couple of no good hoodlums who are walking through the neighborhood. And I rolled the window down and I was like, hey, you guys Marines? And they're like, man, fuck you. I'm like, what?
Gotta love it. You gotta love it.
You.
When the first response, like, you even just say, hey man, what's going on? And their first response is fuck you.
Right.
Probably not good.
Right, exactly. And so, you know, they resemble the description of gang members in the area who had been breaking into, and by gang members I'm using quotes because it's like some little hoodlum desert rat gang.
Right. Some right, exactly.
Right.
Like wannabe, we're not dealing with like, what is it, MS-13 or what is that shit out there?
Right.
M13 or whatever.
Well, and there's the Jtree crew.
Yeah, we're not talking about
these guys,
fucking,
you know what I mean?
Motherfuckers.
Oh my
We're talking
God.
about the little rascals.
Right.
The fucking, the tumbleweed gang. That's who the fuck we're talking about.
Right. And they're predominantly black gangs that are out in that area, and then the Jtree crew is like Hispanic and Samoan, I think. They each have different territories and stuff. And at one point in time, the silver screen is where they all got down. That's where bottles are broken and stabbing people and shit like that.
That's where shit got real.
And we were totally cool to go to the stumps, even though we always fought whenever we went in there. But which I try to stay the fuck away from that shit. You know what I mean? Like, no thanks. I gotta go fight a war.
Yeah. So, and you know what? Fucking fighting hurts. It just hurts.
And I'm like, stop.
Fuck.
So Dre, and then the Jtree Saloon was like, no go, you can't. You're not going in there. Yeah, but anyway, we're in the neighborhood. These guys are, they're kind of like putting their hands over the wall and hopping up and scoping out inside. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
I had my grill stolen before. I've had all sorts of stuff stolen out of that back patio. So I'm like, negative. So I flashed my light and then had my wife call PMO. And these guys come up to the car and start beating the hood and then walking around and stuff. So I'm just kind of slow rolling after them. And they're walking around the perimeter of the neighborhood and the whole nine. And so I throw it into park and all of this other stuff because now they're just kind of waiting and they're in this other area. Well, one of them comes up, starts grappling for the door, right? And I'm like, negative, hold on, time out. And so I know that PMO is on the way and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. And I climb out of the car and I start throwing haymakers on these guys and just start laying into them. Two Marines hop over the wall and just start grabbing t-shirts and slugging the hell out of them. And they're like, you should probably go, bro. Your wife's in the car. I mean, these guys are pretty much handled. I mean, it's like 6-on-3, and we're nailing the shit out of these dudes. And I was just like, dude, PMO never came to my house. They just like roped these guys up and then wound up taking them to jail and shit like that.
Right.
But it was like, it was one of those moments where I'm like, I'm sitting behind the wheel of the car and there's 2 or 3 of them that are beating up the outside of my car. And I'm like, if I bring a weapon, right? I'm like looking at the flashlight. I'm thinking about maybe, should I use this lighter as a fist filler? What am I? Nah, just go for broke, bro. And when I stepped out of that car, my now ex-wife was like, no. And nope, this is happening. And I just started bruising people hard. It was good. Because the Tigers lost the pennant, man. You got to understand. It was like, we didn't win a series at that point. I was full of aggravation and what have you, and fresh out of the field. And it was good. It was really good. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, they can't get me for that. Fuck it. I don't live in California. We're fine. You know what I mean? That's a solid assault charge. But, whatever.
Oh, you could just look at it as because we're talking about kids. You could just look at it as protecting your kid.
Well, and that's the thing that I was worried about because they were pulling on his door handle.
Uh-huh.
And I had a 1993 Buick LeSabre. This is not a reliable automobile, okay? I don't know. Please don't hit my kid's window. Christ. Please don't do that.
1993. This is what, 2000 and what?
6.
Yes, it's like a classic automobile.
It's in between.
You should have had. Did you have like plates on that? Like the
Dude, I never
antique car plates on the bucket.
I never told you about the green machine.
Yes, I know.
Oh my god, dude, this thing was fantastic.
You told me about it.
In order to go, well, I love it because I'd put that sumbitch in neutral all the way down the hill because you live in the high desert, right? But I lived in Yucca, and then I would roll all the way down the hill into Palm Desert, Cathedral City, over in that area, hang out, blah blah blah, and then on the way back up. It just, I don't know. There was something wrong with it. I'm not a fucking car doctor, and so I would have to flutter the gas in order to keep. So you're like, go around. Go around, and it's like, asshole, it's not very ladylike, like all the way up, you're like Morongo Basin, fucking all the way. Yeah, dude, that was my reality. I sold that car actually for $200. Yeah, to my buddy Eric.
$200.
He's like, I drove that car home and it died. Done literally 24 hours after I got home.
Oh my god.
And it was game over. And I'm like, dude, you totally got your money's worth. He's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah.
$200 worth well spent.
Dude, that crazy son of a bitch was like, well, it doesn't do too well in the hills and the traffic and everything. And I'm like, not really. He's like, oh, no problem. I'll just take this route. He went through Yucca Valley to Old Woman Springs Road and took like 9 or whatever it is. He took the desert route all the way up to Northern California and then went through that way.
Wow.
He's like, no, I know a pass over there that's not really all that hilly. What? No, fuck no. You're going to be out there Mad Max style. No. Have you ever been out there, like out in Old Women's Springs Road,
man,
where like cars are fucking lawn art and shit like that? Oh hell yeah! Some of the places out there glow in the middle of the fucking night. They're, oh man. Anyway, so kids, right?
Right.
Yeah, kids.
What else?
Say the darndest thing. Don't drive your kids around in a 1993 Buick LeSabre. I mean, it was a fine car, it got, I mean, it was safe.
Fluttering the gas. Hey, honey, we gotta flutter it the right way.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I would literally as we're going up, this is my reality, bro. As we're going up, I would have my hand in the back seat fishing for a pacifier. And then it's like, oh man, we're losing gas. And I would just, how it's got the bench seat, right? Yeah. I would just kind of slide over, put the left foot and flutter that mud trucker for the wife at the same time. Just like, we're doing this. We are not stopping. I will not be that guy. Like, no. And I'm telling you, man, that the bigger hill that is the more devastating of the two is when you're coming up into Yucca Valley. You're like, it's like being on a roller coaster. Chink, 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 chink. You know what I mean? Dude, the hazards are on.
Holy Jesus,
dude, people are pissed, man. I'm telling you, we're going down the hill, baby. Dude, add an extra 45 minutes to get back up. Just holy shit.
My God, what the fuck?
Oh, dude, it was a calamity. And I'm like, I ain't buying anything else. I'm cheap. Saving my money.
Fuck it, we're not going to get it fixed. Fuck that shit.
No.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yep.
You're such a fucking yut. You're such a putz, dude. Oh, fuck. That's funny.
That's a family automobile. That was manufactured in Michigan. I'm going to drive there till the wheels fell off.
Wish someone had Michigan cars.
Dude, that thing.
They flutter really good.
It's got like 127,000 on a Buick. I'm like, yeah, we're going for broke.
Oh, my God. I drive a Chevy Impala.
Mm-hmm.
That thing's got some miles on it right now, boy. Holy hell.
Yep.
Because basically for the past 2 years, I've driven like an hour.
Yeah.
To and from work.
Yeah.
Just got some damn miles on it now.
See, that's
actually both my cars do.
Well, and that's the thing now. Like, do your kids don't go in your sedan, right? For the most part?
Not really. I mean, from time to time they do, but they pretty much stick to the minivan.
Yeah.
Which has got even more miles on it. But it's a Honda Odyssey, so that thing will run to like 300,000 miles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and see, we've got like the family SUV.
Even though my wife really bitches at me every day, like, I think we should get a new vehicle. she's actually giving me the eye right now.
It's because you did a perfect impression of her. That was rock solid.
Rock solid.
I think we should get a new vehicle.
Speaking of kids, right now my 12-year-old daughter just walked in here. It's 10:30 at night. What are you doing awake?
Go to bed.
I'm actually on air right now, and I'm telling you, why are you still awake?
See?
She's dizzy because she's dehydrated. Hydrate or die.
See?
Right?
Camelback.
I'm going to give you a camelback.
You need to have a camelback and a glow strap on, all right? A glow belt. Hello. It's after lights out. I don't understand what's going on in there. Good order and discipline. Jesus H. Criminy.
So what? Come over here. Come here.
Oh, snap. This is live and in person.
Yeah, live and in person. Tell them what.
Can everybody hear this?
Well, yeah. Why are you up at 10:37 at night?
Because we're watching Dance Moms.
Because you're watching Dance Moms. But what then? Because you're dehydrated. Why are you dehydrated?
I didn't drink enough water today.
So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do tomorrow?
No, it's because she was watching Dance Moms. It's like, why are you so sweaty? Because I was watching Cops.
I was watching Dance Moms.
I was watching Dance Moms, and so now I've got. Tell her she needs to wear a glow strap, and she needs to rock a camelback. At least until the end of this episode.
Goodness, I swear.
Oh, see? It never ends. It never ends. That right there, that's why you subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. I was watching Dance Moms. You can find us in a variety of different aggregators now. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, YouTube, SoundCloud. It's going out to all of our different aggregators. Yeah, I'm trying to do the whole Alexa thing. That'd be cool. I want to do the Alexa thing.
You know the Amazon Alexa thing?
I'm shooting high, man. I don't know.
Dude, so I tried last little story. You get the whole smart home thing going, right? Which is Alexa, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. There's all sorts of new ones that are out there. I mean, I'm waiting for the audience members to tell us where we should take it.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
They're smarter than we are.
Yeah. Anyway, I was trying to. I just don't know if I want. No. So basically, I had a friend, right, who's got an Alexa, or they've got the Echo, the Amazon Echo, but the entity. You know, like Apple has Siri. Well, Amazon Echo, they've got Alexa. So Alexa can, what is the temperature outside? So you're basically talking to a computer, but it's pretty badass, right?
Yeah, hell yeah, it is.
So it's cool.
It's like Jarvis.
But so they had, yes, very much like Jarvis. But they were having a conversation. They had friends over for dinner. They were having a conversation about the Amazon, the Alexa, or the Echo, and they said Alexa, and something of. So the next thing he's telling me a story about how they got this like 3 different packages delivered from Amazon. They hadn't ordered shit, except for what it was is that the Echo overheard them talking. Said the name, and then they got like paper towels, toothpaste, and like something else. So basically, the smart Jarvis, Alexa, whatever, ordered stuff for them.
That could be bad.
that's not cool.
That could be bad with the kids in the house.
Oh yeah, I can't have that shit. Are you kidding me? I can't. Oh well, don't say that because your computer might, your house might fucking order.
Yeah, I'm cool.
See, escargot or something.
Give me the risk communicator thing. You know what I mean? So that I can go boop, and then that's it. Ba-doop.
Yeah.
And then I can say whatever I desire.
So,
you know what I mean?
So who knows? Maybe they'll work that out, but that's something Amazon needs to figure the fuck out.
Yeah, I'll see, because I don't want my kids. See, my son tells me all the time, like, I need Jake, or whatever his flavor of the week is for like some show or character or whatever it is.
Jake and the Neverland Pirates. Right. See, I know what you're rolling with there.
He'd be ordering fucking Blu-ray episodes.
Or like if you don't have like your parental control set up on your phone, next thing you know, you've got 207. I'm saying like 200 and something bucks in charges from like some fucking app because they bought some kind of crystal something for the freaking game that they're playing. I don't know. I needed more crystals, so I pushed the buttons. Not speaking from experience. That never happened to me, but it happened to my sister-in-law.
Oh, Jesus.
$270, bro. But anyway, fucking
in
kids.
Crystals?
Oh no, it was no. It's the whatever game it was. It's the game that that's like the money in the game.
Right.
So it was like because a lot of those games, that's how it is. You buy so you can speed the game along.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Jesus.
My nephew ordered like $300 worth of like crystals or whatever the hell it was in the game. I wish I knew, but anyway, that's what kids do to you. Give you goddamn gray hair and heart attacks. Don't let them fool you. They're cute and cuddly, but Jesus.
And hopefully you raise them right and they become productive members of society and great Americans, not unlike you.
Add value, unlike us. We just get on and talk shit.
There you go. See? Another episode in the can. Folks, subscribe, rate, review. Thank you so much for listening. We are proud members of Heroes Media Group, which is a veteran-owned and operated podcast network. It is awesome. Check it out. Doing big things. Adam Bird, the founder over there, also runs the Decision Hour. Recently had on, what's his name? Shia LaBeouf, who's doing that. The Marine movie. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember.
The hell was it? I don't know. Man Down? Some shit like that.
You're going to have to listen to the Decision Hour to figure it out. But that's with Adam Bird. Check it out. Also, huge thank you to Jeremy Knopf over at... See, he always... Cough button, mother trucker. Anyway, Jeremy, you make a kick-ass website. Thank you. Spartan Media, that's his. Spartan Media. Marine 03 owned. Badass dude. Get in touch with him. Time now. Veteranslist.us. If you are a small business owner and you're looking to get noticed, check out veteranslist.us. If you feel that a featured membership is right for you, you can get 50% off. That's half off a featured membership by entering discount code Cigars and Sea. Go ahead, enter in discount code Cigars and Sea. It's 50% off. They've got circulation, doing big things. That's Will and Rick. They're awesome folks. We've had all of these folks on the show, I think, at some point in time. Who would you like to listen to? Tell us. Join the Cigars and Sea Stories listener group. You're going to have to find it and befriend us. And hopefully, you're cool enough for a cool guy club, I guess. But it is a closed group. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. It's all at Cigars and Sea. Follow myself at Michael J. Penny. My name is Penney. I'm not a coin, goddammit. But I'm also not related to J.C. Penny. I didn't see a penny out of that. You're welcome.
So funny.
Bennett, what's your social media?
Bennett Tanton.
He's got one of those
Facebook.
names.
Bennett Tanton on Facebook. And then you can always check out my nonprofit at warriorhall.org. And we're going to be doing some fun, crazy kid stuff on that, man. It's going to be good stuff. This coming year is a big year for that. But, yeah, Warrior Hall and or Bennett Tanton at Facebook, LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah.
Cool. Stick with us, folks. We've got a couple of goodies coming up, a few guest hosts that are going to join us. We've got a couple of unique guests that are on the way, some big names, and a couple of folks that I'd love to tell you more about, but you're going to have to listen in. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Cigars and Sea Stories. And on that note, we cue the music. I will flag on front to